As global landscapes change, it's important to maintain functioning ecosystems. We know that biodiversity is important to this. However, we still have much to learn about how diversity impacts on specific ecosystem functions. Functional traits can help link life history strategies to a wide range of ecosystem functions, from nutrient cycling to seed dispersal. Functional diversity is a way of measuring the diversity of traits represented in natural communities, and thus, many ecologists believe that functional diversity is a better measure of ecosystem functioning than species richness alone. A new paper in Ecography by Suarez-Castro et al. Shows that most studies of functional diversity have been done at a single spatial scale. The authors explore how multiple spatial scales impact functional diversity. The authors were interested in two factors that affect species richness and functional diversity across spatial scales: environmental filters and the variation in the structure of species interactions across space. Environmental filters reflect how resources are distributed in a physical location and play a major role in determining which species can colonize and survive. For example, disturbance can create an increase in the variety of local habitats, leading to opportunities for species with different requirements to coexist. And this can lead to an increase in functional diversity. However, when species colonize a new location, they are also confronted with other species that they must interact with. Where there is strong competition for limited resources, traits that allow species to survive the abiotic environment may also hinder their ability to compete well. This paper describes, based on existing theory, how functional diversity patterns associated with trade-offs in environmental filtering and competition are expected to change across spatial scales. Why does spatial scale come into play? At local scales, processes such as seed dispersal and competition between species influence the spatial distribution of species and traits. At landscape and regional scales, the spatial distribution of environmental variables such as soil, hydrology, and climate are important. So it's important to consider the spatial structure of an environment when studying the species richness and functional diversity of a community or ecosystem. A better understanding of how functional diversity metrics relate to networks of interacting species is important, and our understanding will improve as better data is gathered from empirical studies and compared with ecological theory. This study identifies ways forward to increase our understanding of how local and large-scale processes influence functional diversity. This is a key step in providing the biological understanding necessary to improve biodiversity monitoring, policy, and conservation based on ecosystem function.